Today we're doing 12.6, arithmetic and geometric means in terms. So we're applying everything that we've been learning into this set of notes. On this first one, we're talking about arithmetic mean. So they're saying you have the terms negative 14 and 40, but they want you to insert two arithmetic means in between these numbers. So if I were to write this, I'd write it as negative 14, comma, we need one number, two numbers, and then 40. So what we have to decide, and arithmetic means that they are adding and subtracting, correct? So we always have to make sure that with our arithmetic sequences that it is a constant thing that we are adding. So what you want to do is you want to subtract these two terms to see what the difference is here. Because if you start at negative 14 and go all the way to 40, how many numbers are in between negative 14 and 40? And then you'll have to divide that evenly. So we go 40 minus negative 14, so really it's 40 plus 14, which is 54. And if you think about it, negative 14 to 0 is 14 numbers, and then 0 to 40 is 40, and 40 plus 14 makes 54. So then you have to decide how many differences are we going to be adding. So from here, this is one difference we're adding, then we're adding, that's 2, and this is 3. So we have to take this number 54 and divide it by 3. 54 divided by 3 equals 18. So if we go through and do this, negative 14 plus 18 equals 4. 4 plus 18 is 22. And then 22 plus 18 equals 40. So these are the two arithmetic means that I had to insert and would be my answer. Okay, part B. This one wants you to take the same numbers, but they want you to insert 3 arithmetic means this time. So when we write this out, we would go negative 14, comma, 1 blank, 2 blanks, 3 blanks, and then 40. Okay, we already know that the difference between these numbers from negative 14 to 40, the amount of numbers in between there is 54. But this time we have to divide by a different number in order to evenly distribute the values. So let's count through here. So from here to here you would add once, and that's 2 times, 3 times, 4 times. So we have to distribute 54 evenly between 4 different terms. So we're going to go 54 divided by 4. This one doesn't divide in evenly. When you do that, it actually equals 13.5. Okay, so we're just going to do the same thing. We just have a decimal. So negative 14 plus 13.5 equals negative 0.5. Negative 0.5 plus 13.5 equals 13. 13 plus 13.5 equals 26.5. And 26.5 plus 13.5 equals 40. And so by adding on that last one, it's a way to double check that you did it correctly. Okay, so those 3 numbers would be my answer. Okay, so that's dealing with arithmetic. Geometric, we know, is dealing with multiplication and division, but mainly multiplication. So they are wanting to find the geometric mean of root 2 and 8 root 2. So on this one, we're going to be inserting 1. So we have root 2 and a blank and 8 root 2. Now remember what we talked about on block day, and I told you that in order to find the ratio, all you would need to do is take the second one and divide it by the first one. Okay? Do you remember that? So basically, because I'm only inserting 1 geometric mean, we're going to take the second one, 8 root 2, and divide it by this one, and I'm going to give that value x. Okay? I can make another equation and take this second one, which happens to be x, and divide it by the first one, which is root 2. And I should get the same ratio each time. If we go back real quick and look at our notes, you know, we talked about on this example A right here, if I take these two numbers and I go 15 divided by 3, I get 5. If I take these two numbers and I take 75 divided by 15, I get 5. If I took 375 and 75 and divide it, I would get 5. So I'm able to set these two equal to each other because I'm doing 8 root 2 divided by x, so the second divided by first, will give me the same answer as taking x divided by root 2. Okay? So if we go now and solve this, we will just start by cross multiplying. So if I cross multiply, I have x times x, which would make x squared, and 8 root 2 times root 2, okay, if you have 8 root 2 times root 2, these two roots cancel out and we'll make a 2, so you get 8 times 2, which is 16. Okay, and then we take the square root of both of these, and I get x equals 4. So that is what my geometric mean is. Okay, this one says find 3 geometric means between 5 and 80. So we're going to start with 5, and then we're going to insert 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we have 80. Okay, now again, the difference with geometric is that it's multiplying. So we have to think about this one just a little bit differently. And we have to figure out 5 times what gives me 80, and then we'll have to split that number up evenly between each of these terms. So in order to find 5 times what equals 80, you can actually just go 80 divided by 5, which equals 16. So 5 times 16 would give us 80. But we have to split it up evenly. So if we go through and check, we'd have to go 5 times something, that's 1. This times another thing would be 2, 3, 4. So we have to multiply the same number 4 times, and starting with 5 to get to 80. So what you do is you take this number and we take the 4th root of it. So I would take the 4th root of 16. 16 breaks down to 4 and 4. And then we have 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So that means there's 4 2's. So my ratio ends up being 2. So when I go through here, I'd go 5 times 2 makes 10, 10 times 2 is 20, 20 times 2 is 40, and 40 times 2 makes 80. So those are the numbers that I would insert in. All right, example 4. Determine how many terms are in the sequence. We need to figure out, is this an arithmetic sequence or is it a geometric sequence? So if we look, can you see what is happening between each of the numbers? Okay, it looks like they are subtracting by 8. So if they are subtracting by 8, that means it's what? An arithmetic sequence. So our formula for finding an arithmetic sequence is a sub n equals d times n minus 1 plus a sub 1. So now we need to find out how many terms are in the sequence. So we need to find out what is the n value of negative 380. So we're going to plug in the information that we know in order to find n. So a sub n equals negative 380 equals d, the difference is negative 8, times, we don't know the n value, that's what we want to find, n minus 1, plus, and my first term, a sub 1, is 44. And then we will simplify and solve. we start doing this by distributing negative 8 through here. So I have negative 380 equals negative 8n plus 8 plus 44. We can simplify 8 plus 44. So we have negative 380 equals negative 8n plus 52. In order to get the negative 8n by itself, I subtract 52 to both sides. Negative 380 and negative 52 add to make negative 432 equals negative 8n. And then we divide by negative 8 to both sides to get n equals 54. Okay. Any questions? Hopefully not. Okay, moving on. Find the position of the number or the total, the negative 29 in the sequence. So they're saying whatever's going on here, they want to find out what term number is negative 29. So it's the same thing that we just did on the above one. They want us to find what n equals again. Okay, so first we need to decide, is it arithmetic or is it geometric? So if we look through here, what's happening between each of the terms? They are subtracting by 3. So that means it is arithmetic. So my arithmetic equation is a sub n equals d times n minus 1 plus a sub 1. Okay, so we're going to plug in the information we know. So they want us to find the position of negative 29. So I'm writing negative 29 in for a sub n. My difference was negative 3. I do not know my n value, so I have n minus 1. Plus, and my a sub 1 value is 40. We simplify just like we did on the last one by distributing negative 3 through. So I have negative 29 equals negative 3n plus 3 plus 40. Negative 29 equals negative 3n plus 43. Subtract 43 to both sides. We end up getting negative 72 equals negative 3n. Divide by negative 3 to both sides, and you get n equals 24 for your answer. Okay, example 6, same thing. They want to find the position of 768 in the sequence. First, we need to figure out what's going on between each of these terms. So as you look at them, hopefully you notice that each of them are multiplying by 2. Since it's multiplying, that means it's what? Geometric is correct. Okay, so our geometric formula is a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So we then take 768 equals a sub 1 is 3 times r is 2 raised to the n minus 1, and that's what we do not know is what n minus 1 is. Well, we always have to take care of our exponents first, but I can't take care of my exponent because I have that variable in there. So in order to get rid of this 3 that's multiplying to this, how do I get rid of that 3? Good. We divide by 3 to both sides. So these cancel. 768 divided by 3 equals 256. So 256 equals 2 to the n minus 1 power. Now, we learned about this a few units back when we were dealing with logs and exponents. But in order to solve for this, I need to get 256 to be the same base as 2. So 256 is 2 to what power? So you could like break this all down, but for time's sake, it ends up becoming 2 to the 8th. So if you want to double check me, you can punch 2 to the 8th in your calculator, and it does equal 256. So this equals 2 to the n minus 1 power. So remember that once your exponents are the same, you can drop those bases, and we get 8 equals n minus 1. And in order to finish solving this, I would add 1 to both sides to find that n equals 9. And that is your answer.